Okay, so this is called Before They Were Flesh. It takes place in Prague, which has or had a extensive Jewish community and ghetto before the war, and the cemetery. So the Jews there weren't allowed to like increase the area of the cemetery. But in Judaism, you're not allowed to like move or desecrate graves. So basically they just put layer after layer of dirt and kept burying people on top of each other. And so when you go there, it's just like entirely headstones. And people in Judaism, part of like celebrating and remembering the dead is bringing stones and putting them on the headstones. And so just going there, it's like these stones on stones in this like tiny place. And like the only reason that this like cemetery or this like place exists is because the Nazis were going to turn it into a museum of extinct people. So it has a lot of like feeling, and it's like it's cool. It's interesting. This is called Before They Were Flesh. The attic of the synagogue is cold in the winter, even as spring approaches with the death and rebirth of the sun. Though the building has long been vacant of a congregation, memories play along the rafters, like the smoke that used to rise from the ever-lit lamps when there were still those to light them. Some say the memories, too, are dying, like the moss and mold once thick on the ceiling, feeding on the condensation of hushed breaths and the worried gossip and the death of a people. Today, though, they bloom. It is almost Hanukkah, but it's actually Hanukkah right now. Happy Hanukkah. The fire of life in oil, smeared on the pavement of eternity, outlives its allotted lifespan, even in self-immolation. Outside, there's no snow, only rain. It meets the warmth from below in the corners of the attic, where the joints in the roofing, however crafty they were a millennium ago, have grown holes. Steam rises from the sloping floor, up to the tiled roof, down to the gargoyles in storage from the cathedral. It's been years since the cathedral collapsed. The vaulting caved first, and then the roof fell, and the looters came and stole the gilding on the altar and dispersed it like stones cast, like prophecy unfurled. You could see the building from the old town, a hulk of stone in the shape of a ribbed torso on its back. In the old town, so unlike the cathedral and the castle beside it, there are still those who remember even the synagogue, but that memory is unlike the memory of the day the cathedral was looted. It was an earthquake, some say. Others tell of a new bomb. Something shook the hill and cracked the cathedral into golden, jeweled splinters, fragile and beautiful as a Fabergé egg. In some places, a story that holds that memory never dies. Memory has a death grip on the living, and the bombs that fell and were buried and diffused never really left the ground. They were only waiting for the right moment to explode. The gargoyles roll their eyes at this. They leave their tongues outstretched as though they catch the light from the holes in the roof. A pale imitation of light through stained glass. It leaves their bellies empty. So long ago, they fired clay from the Vlatava and made the man that now huddles between the gargoyles. They burned him in a furnace like others burned his people's bodies, though they meant to make him immortal. When his work was done, they left him broken in a room full of bones, like all attics and all basements, bones and people who live on bone and marrow. Clay, like other bones, is blessed and fertile. In some stories, it was clay from which all life grew. And so they thought they could turn bone meal and clay into life. And where a soul should be, if such a thing exists, they left a hollow which fills with water through the trepanned holes dripping down from the ceiling. It's Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Again. The fourth night? I don't know. From the vantage of the attic, it seems the Hanukkah below have lit themselves. In this heat, a stem protrudes from a clay head. Another wiggles its way from pensive eyes, another down through an aquiline nose. The body is soft inside. Its softness grows, and the roots push their way through the skin. Spring comes, and the snow on the roof soon drips through the derelict shingles. On Shabbat, sometimes there are rare footsteps that echo through the nave. Careful footsteps, and no voices. Soon, a crow and then a dove build their nests, sheltered in the brick gable. Soon it will be Pesach. The body grows softer, mud now. He melts into the plant within, who wonders how she'll survive when he's gone. What will she eat when the people are gone, where there's only crows and doves and the rare footsteps, though no bodies for them to belong to? She knows she'll find a way. She has always found a way. When she was a seed washed up in the Vlatava, and the Rabbi Lev planted her unknowing in the golem, she put herself to sleep. She curled and dried, hidden from the heat, but the heat found her. In the space above the candles, before burning, she reached out to the heat and the water and the worms in the ground below. She didn't reach out to the rabbi or the people because she knew they would die. They died hoping, always. They always died. She remembers the sound of the burials, the taste of the shovels, the smell of dirt, how it felt to be alive in the soil before they dug her up to bury more bodies. In summer, she tries the ladder down from the Geniza. The attic has made her afraid and hungry. There are others who always come to attics and basements like these, where there are so many papers to be forgotten in archives. Papers, objects waiting to be buried. This is the Geniza's purpose, a waiting place for the word between here and the world beyond. She knows that she, like the papers in the golem, is unusual, meaning interesting. They will try to keep her alive, though all she wants is to dig herself into the ground. She knows that not all burials are for the dead, though she seeks herself in the cemetery. There will be no headstones for her, no stones to lay on her grave, no one to lay them. And they will come for papers to burn, papers to eat, anything to survive the long, warming nights. Others will come. They will come in memory. They will come in myth. Because it was said, the way our prophecies are always said, that when deliverance is needed, the golem, like the Messiah, will deliver them. Unto who, though? And when? And when there are no more papers, no more synagogues, no more people, what will happen to the gravestones and the stones left for them? Who will wonder, silent in the graveyard, what more can anyone offer the dead or the living but stones?